Happy Saturday. It is time for Saturday Shorts. I am Kevin. You are here at Kevin Toll Reads, and we're going to jump right into it. My first one of two is from this collection, Miraculous Mysteries, published or edited by Martin Edwards. This was published in 2017. The actual story was written by Christopher St. John Sprigg, and it is titled Death at 8:30. I did some investigative work to see when this is actually published. That is one of the kind of details I like to share with you all, and I couldn't find the publication date of the short story. I looked all online. I do know that this particular collection will give you information about them. Sprigg died at the age of 30. He was born in 1907, died in 1937. So somewhere near that short story was written by him. And so I couldn't find the exact date. But anyways, this was a great one. I really enjoyed this. So let's talk about it. The overview really is you have this mysterious extortionist, goes by the name, there are the initials, XK, and he likes to apparently send letters or through the paper announce the death of a certain person if they're not paid a certain ransom by a specific time and date. And it's usually 8:30, and if they don't, they are killed, and if they do, they're not. And so apparently in learning about this, he has done this successfully 7 out of the last 10 times, and most of the people that he tries to extort are millionaires and could afford the money. So he seems to be a well-off gentleman. Then this story kind of centers around him writing one that deals specifically with their home secretary, which how I kind of interpreted it in this story was kind of like their police chief, because this is definitely all of these stories are taken across the pond in England and Britain. And so I really enjoyed this. It's a lot of tension, but I really enjoyed it because the Home Secretary by this was a man named Sir Richard Jauntly, and he has three kind of police lieutenants that are helping him with this particular entry because he is the next person to be threatened, and they want to contain him, make sure he's safe, make sure he touches nothing, make sure all his food is tested, everything, and they actually take a lot of precautions. And then secondly, they got to figure out who this XK person is because there's obviously an ongoing investigation that has been open for some time and they just don't have any leads. And so this kind of creates this huge dynamic. It is very tension driven. It's an impossible kind of situation. They got to figure out who this murderer is, and try to catch him before he strikes again type thing. I really enjoyed this. The three police kind of lieutenants, Gooch, Paulet, and Hammerton, I think it was. I really enjoyed them. You also have some other characters that come into play, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was really, really good. No specific excerpts kind of came out from this from a prose or a lyrical standpoint that kind of stuck with me, but the story in and of itself is just a really good story. Again, it's 21 pages, really quick. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.4. My second short story comes from the collection Flight or Fright. This is 17 turbulent tales that have to do with airplanes and what could go wrong. And it's edited by Stephen King and Bev Vinson. Bev Vinson is known for her kind of writing these reference manuals that related to like companion manuals to the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. So they've worked together in the past quite frequently. This particular short story that I'm talking about is written by Richard Matheson. It is called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, and it was published in 1961 by the author, and then later in 1963, it was written as an episode for The Twilight Zone, which I thought was really interesting. It is also around 21 pages in length. It is a thriller suspense kind of fantasy story, and this centers around a gentleman by the name of Arthur Jeffrey Wilson. He also goes by the name of Robert, but Wilson is someone who deals with a high anxiety, stressful circumstances. It seems like he is a salesman. He's on an airplane getting ready to go make another sale as part of his job, and he is having a huge mental anxiety crisis. He's heavily medicated, knowing that he is going to be taking this flight. And there was one excerpt that I kind of want to share that I just popped in my head again, is there was one point where at the beginning of the story, he's talking about popping pills to help with calm his nerves during the flight. And he's like, I knew they wouldn't work. And it was such a human kind of way that he said that, because everyone would be thinking the same thing, especially people that have anxiety when it comes to flying, and they take medicine ahead of time, whether it's Dramamine or other things, and they get up there and they start freaking out, and they're like, I knew it wouldn't work. And that to write that, it just seems so, I don't know, for me it just seems like the most natural human response you would have. And so that really stuck with me, and that just popped in my head. But while he's up in the air, after they kind of get to altitude, Wilson looks out his window and he notices a creature out on the wing, which doesn't make any sense, because how is that possible? And the creature seems to be trying to engage him in terms of mannerisms. And when he calls the stewardess over, because he's flipping out, like, how is that possible? Did someone forget him? Like, who is that person? And then the stewardess comes over and the man disappears. And so he's like, I know I saw that. And so then you start to see it. Did I make it up? Am I crazy? The stewardess is kind of, okay, well, let me know if you need anything else type thing. And then it really starts unraveling. And lo and behold, the time period of which this story takes place is in the probably 70s, because he talks about smoking in the ashtray and the armrest. He actually also happens to be carrying a gun, which is significant, because obviously you couldn't do that today. And you have a mentally unstable person seeing things and also has a gun. It creates a really interesting dynamic. Obviously, there's nothing about the story that I disliked. I thought it was really good. One excerpt that really stood out with me was Wilson, and he said this, a sudden overwhelming fury filled him. He wanted to scream, to throw something, to hit somebody. Teeth jammed together so rapidly it hurt his jaw. Wilson shoved aside the curtains with a spastic hand and stared out murderously through the windows. Yeah. Should be an interesting flight. But I really enjoyed this. I give it a 4.1. I enjoyed the mystery a little better, but I really appreciated this for what it was. Both really good short stories today. And that is my Saturday shorts for today. I really enjoy these videos. I really enjoy reading these short stories. They take only about an hour to knock a couple out at this page length, and I just enjoy talking about them. So I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. I do have a Sackett series review that I'm going to be in the works, so that will be either later today or early in the tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that as well. I hope you have a great Saturday, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.